feel alive. I'm floating around in ecstasy.
You've probably seen that commercial for Toyota's new Camry, but what you probably didn't know is there are many versions of that ad, and which one you see might depend on your ethnicity. According to the New York Times, the company unveiled numerous ads for the car, several designed to resonate specifically with African American, Hispanic, or Asian American audiences. Joining me to talk about all this, Sonia Greer. She's marketing professor at American University. Thanks for joining us. Nice seeing you.
You're most welcome.
So why separate ads for separate groups of people?
This is standard marketing practice. In marketing, you have to segment the audience because you cannot talk to everyone. So the goal is to try to identify and understand each group's distinctive preferences and attitudes and values in the way they live their life so that you can speak to them in a way that makes them want to buy your car.
So when it comes to buying things like cars, we're not all the same. Are you trying to tell me that African Americans prefer one kind of car or one color car, Asian Americans and Hispanic Americans and white, that we all have different preferences based on who we are, our ethnicity?
That happens for some products, but when you talk about these are all ads for the same Camry car. And so the goal here, even though the product isn't necessarily functioning differently for each of the different groups, the goal is to speak to each group in a way that makes them think about your car when they go to buy a car.
Gotcha. So you're selling the same product, but you're talking a different language to different people.
Yes, because different people are going to hear it in different ways, and they're going to interpret it in different ways.
And this doesn't just happen with cars, it happens with a lot of other products.
Everything, with pretty much every product. Most products are not targeted to a general audience. Most products are targeted to specific groups. All you have to do is leaf through something like Essence or Latina, and you'll see different ads than you might see leafing through Vogue or Glamour, etc.
This reminds me of politicians who have different speeches depending on who they're talking to, you know what I mean? So what other ads, other than car ads, what other ads are we talking about?
I mean, there are going to be products that are targeted to specific groups. So if you think about hair care or makeup, they're targeted to different groups in different ways because there's differences in hair texture and differences in skin tone colors. However, there are going to be products that are just not different, that you have to try to speak to people in different ways. So fast food marketers, soda marketers, cigarette marketers have really been at the forefront of targeting ethnic minority consumers. This
is amazing, and marketers, and because there are dollars there, it's like they, at some point in time, and you're saying it happened a long time ago, they discovered, you know, that all these various groups are markets and there's money to be made there. I can recall when I was growing up, my mother would come in with all these white products because that's all that was being offered, you know, that she would use for her hair and everything else, and so, but that's all changed now.
Oh yeah, there was a magazine in about the 1960s, and the cover was "Negro Consumers Are Waiting." And so the whole idea was like, here's an untapped market that we haven't thought about. And so over time, companies have realized there are lots of different segments that may use our product, and they might use it more if we speak to them in a way that makes them feel like it's targeted to them.
Yeah, who's making these decisions? Do they have teams that reflect the kind of diversity that you're talking about, that they're trying to show in their marketing? Who's making these decisions?
Well, I mean, in the advertising industry, there's been a lot of concern about the diversity of different agencies, but I think the agencies and the companies have become more diverse, and there tends to be teams of people who make these decisions. That's why I think some of the controversies we see around advertising are that much more surprising.
Yeah. Sonia, thanks a lot. This is good. Great
Thank
education.
You.
Appreciate it.